everybody, I'm Rick Rifle for Stylushlife.com with flower arrangements, vase shapes, and how sometimes form does follow function. Now, let's face it, we all love fresh flowers in our house. The problem that I've encountered is that oftentimes people don't really understand how the shape of a vase impacts the arrangement that you put in it. I gathered together a few different assorted pieces that sort of represent the bulk of the shapes and sizes that I have in my house. And I wanted to start with something that I think all of us have. The tall, clear glass cylinder. It's also a container I think that is frequently misused. The tall glass cylinder has a very sculptural quality about it. It's actually kind of modern. So what I think you want to do is use things that also have a very sculptural quality about them. In this case, I used pussy willow. Now, a little designer tip here, you've got to change this water every day, because trust me, otherwise it's going to look like you got a science project growing on your sideboard. Another really common kind of receptacle that you see people putting flowers in is an ordinary household pitcher. It has a nice country look to it, very casual feeling. You can put it on a sideboard, you can put it in a dining room, hey, you can even throw it in the kitchen somewhere. And the problem with the simple pitcher is that it's got that sort of strange shape to the spout on it, and you can't really do anything traditional or conventional inside of it. So I go for things like parrot tulips. Now, why tulips? Tulips have a really sloppy, casual feeling about them. They're always kind of flopping over and hanging down. When you put them in something that has a really sculptural net quality, like a pitcher, they tend to sort of create their own sort of landscape by just flopping wherever they will and taking on the properties of the container. That's why they seem to work best for the common, ordinary household pitcher. Now, a little designer trick for working with tulips. If you don't want them to be quite as sloppy and quite as lazy, throw a penny into the water. What's left of the amount of copper in the ordinary American penny will have a chemical reaction with the water and cause the flowers to straighten up. Another really common vase that everybody seems to have is the bud vase. Now, I've done bud vases with just a single flower in them, and what I find is it just looks lonely. So what I've taken to doing is taking two flowers, clipping one shorter than the other, and creating an asymmetrical arrangement. Gives it a little dynamic tension and actually makes it look a little bit more interesting. I also like to use ordinary everyday household objects like coffee mugs, tiki mugs, or a little French onion soup bowl. Now, what I find nice about these types of containers is they give you a really low, almost personal, intimate sort of an arrangement. Perfect for a bedside table, powder room, and quite honestly, if you can find a flower that really doesn't have a lot of a fragrance, we all know this rule, a centerpiece on a dining room table. Low arrangements are great on dining room tables because, well, that way you can see your dinner guest across the table from you. Another type of container I use frequently that I think a lot of people might overlook is just a low, open dish. I fill it with water and then I just float blossoms in it. The types of flowers that I frequently float in there would be things like orchids or these little pink blossoms that I cut off of an oleander bush behind my house. You could also do something like a gardenia if you wanted, although if you want to use it on a dining room table, I would say steer away from things that have a strong scent. I'm Rick Rifle for Stylushlife.com with flower arrangements, vase shapes, and how sometimes form does follow function.